Man, once again, it's been way too long. Way too long. Way, way, way too long. Man, like it's been 3 months. September, October, November, December. 4 months. 4 months since I've vlogged. Insane. I've never taken this big of a break. I mean, I only started, what, 1 year ago? Yeah, 1 year ago. And man, I've been busy for sure. So much has happened. Oh man, this upcoming these upcoming vlogs are going to be so packed with content. So interesting, I promise you. I promise you, I promise you. Oh man, like I was reviewing my last video just to see what it was about, what my haircut was actually. And I didn't even like since that time, I guess since that time I only got one haircut, but my hair was much longer all around, and then I got a haircut recently. So now it's unfortunately too short. Yeah, I don't like it in how it is right now. I can't really style it at all like I could before, and I liked how before it was curly and everything. I realized in my last video too, I was speaking quite eloquently. I wasn't saying speaking very deliberately, and it was actually engaging, listening, listening to my speech. Although I listened at 2 times speed, it was entertaining, and I enjoyed it. I didn't even finish it, but I would have finished it. I would have finished it if I didn't have an exam tomorrow. I had an exam 2 days ago. Then I had one yesterday, and now I have one tomorrow. So and I have two more next week. So I shouldn't even be making this vlog, but I really, I have so many thoughts to get out. Oh man. And all of my videos have been, I mean, a lot of them have been about girls, as my friend pointed out, as I know in my own right that they tend to be more about girls and just girls approaching girls. Yeah. 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 But I think at least for a couple more vlogs, I have so much to talk about. Okay, I'll stop harping on that. So, what did I want to talk about today? Long overdue. So long overdue. This is going to be a vlog about my friend, Mahdi, that I met on the elevator after a tutorial. So, it's always so interesting. It's so funny because we hang out, and then I see someone that I know on campus, and then they say, "Oh, hey, how's it going? How did you meet? How did you guys meet?" And we always say, he says it sometimes, and then I say it sometimes, and we just say, "Oh, we met in the elevator." And they're like, "What? That's so random. How?" But that tends to be a lot of my meets. Random places like that. I'm trying to save some stories. I'm trying not to spoil, but man, speaking of meat, two things I'll quickly mention just to get you hyped up for the next vlogs. So I met the gym girl. I met the modest gym girl. Yeah. Yeah. Not only that, not only that, she added me on Instagram without me even asking for her Instagram. So like we've talked in person a couple of times, and then all of a sudden one day out of the blue, I see my notifications. somebody added me, and it was her. Okay. The other thing is I was watching my last vlog too, and I was like, there's no point on approaching whatever or whatnot. And then start of school came along, so many attractive girls, but one thing that really stuck out there, okay, so many attractive girls that you could approach. So it had me in the, I don't even know why I'm really not trying to justify it. It's fine as it is. It's fine saying that there were so many attractive girls to approach. And I did want to approach. I kind of changed my mind. Kind of forgot about why I stopped approaching. And I actually found someone. I was on the bus, and I don't want to spoil the entire story, but basically I met someone on the bus. Like, approached someone on the bus. Yeah. Insane. That was like out of a movie. Man, and I think about that so often. It was so cool, and I'm so glad it happened. I was able to make it happen at least once in my life, and I don't need it to happen again. It'd be cool if it happened again, but I don't need it to happen again. I'm just so happy that it happened. It's such a cool story. Anyways, back to the actual topic. 7 minutes, damn. So Mahdi, this was like, wow. Yeah, no, this was in, this was my second term at Carleton. Yes. So I was doing a calc course, and I was trying to make some friends because I was still new. It was my second term it was my second term at Carleton, so I was still trying to make friends, trying to meet new people, trying to find my best friend. And my approach for that is just meeting as many people as I can and seeing what they're like superficially and seeing if I get along with them, and then I'll try to build a deeper connection with them if I do relate with them well. Okay, so Mahdi, why am I making a full vlog about him even after 8 minutes of preamble? I actually completely forgot what I wrote in here, so I'll just read it out. My entire vlog series is what changes my life. So many little tips, but they add up. I think I just threw that in there, just for fun. Just a little tidbit of information. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely see that. There's a lot of things where it's like, oh, there was a rabbit. There's a rabbit by my window. Okay. Wait. There's actually so much. Because the last vlog was September. What was it? September? It was uploaded September 16th. But I think it was made even earlier than that. Like, oh, it definitely was. Like, so much. Man. Okay, sorry. I'll stop repeating that. So, I met a chill guy in my class last Thursday. He's 24. I wrote this in March 17th. February? March? Is that accurate? I think that's accurate. It says 3/17/2025 is when I wrote this note for the vlog. I met a chill guy in my class last Thursday. He's 24. He told me he thought about these philosophical topics but he's since moved on. I didn't consider that you could move on from thinking philosophically, but now that he mentions it, I think it's time for me to move on. Same with workout info material. It feels like I already know enough that I don't need to keep on watching. And for this, I don't need to keep on thinking. So there was a point where I was consuming so much workout content, and it all ended up just being the same regurgitated content. But I would still watch it. And at some point I realized, they're all saying the same thing. Lift heavy weights, stretch is important, at least if I'm concerned with hypertrophy, stretch is important, and work hard and be consistent. And now there's a lot of variability, and there's a lot of new research and new science on different things. But, new chair, by the way. That's so many new things. Okay. So sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry for anything. So, right. So much new research on, just a lot of research on very specific things. And Jeff Nippard, my lifting idol, he has his own new gym where he can do all the research he wants on himself and see what works for him best. So that makes it, hopefully it'll advance the scientific knowledge, the scientific lifting knowledge even more. And even if we don't have a proper, Jeff Nippard's just going to work out, and it's not necessarily going to be a proper formal scientific study, but it will be helpful for people who listen to him, who watch him, and it provides information regardless of whether it's completely formal. And besides, scientific studies, just because something is a scientific study, just because there's a study on it that proves something, does not mean it's true. It's so stupid. Science, just search up p hacking, where they basically force a way to get the right answer every time, to get the yes every time. No matter what experiment, you can p hack, and you can just say, oh, well, actually, after the fact. You can p hack after the fact, after you did your study, and you can say, actually, it was significant. You just change the question. I think the basis of p hacking is just changing the question so that at some point it is right. At some point, your solution, what you do want to be true, is true. But science, it's so bogus. It's bogus. I love that word. Bogus. But what I was saying here is, you listen to so much content of a certain thing, and you could say Dunning-Kruger, and yeah, part of it is Dunning-Kruger, but honestly, for lifting, it's very straightforward. Just work out. and if you're focused on hypertrophy, stretch is really cool, but even that is being undermined. Like maybe the stretch isn't as important as we thought for certain muscles. And maybe long length partials are even better. Maybe they're not. We don't really know nothing's super conclusive, and there's a lot of variability in individuals. So again, take this with a grain of salt is kind of what I'm saying, where regurgitated information, but there's still always something to be learned. What I'm saying is, once you're running into that wall where it's just the same regurgitated information, I don't need to deal with that anymore. I'm done. No thanks. Leave me be. And I'll move on to something else. New topic to focus on. New topic to occupy my mind with. So now this is what Mahdi was saying, where at least this is what I intuited from what he said. He used to think a lot about philosophy, and he used to think a lot about so many different things about God, if there was a God, all of these things. And then at some point, he realized he doesn't need to keep on. He's done with thinking. I think it's time for me to move on, is what he said. Or no, I said that, sorry. He's since moved on. That's what he said. Incredible. You can't put it any other way. Man, there's so many cool things about him too. Okay, so I'll keep on reading. And I think I mentioned... No, I don't even mention it here. Okay, I'll quickly mention it. The way he speaks so formally. So you know how people with British accents, they sound higher class. But he has a slight British, not even British accent. It's just a high class accent. I don't know how else to describe it. He enunciates all of his words precisely. And he speaks slowly and softly. And he just has that, when he speaks, he has that aura of sophistication. It's incredible. It's beautiful listening to him speak. And he doesn't stutter either. He doesn't I'm noticing now what I'm doing, where I will have quick bursts of what I say and be really emotional with what I say, but he'll be quite monotone, quite steady throughout. And if he needs to increase his tone, he will. Well, increase his pitch, he will. But it's all done so meticulously. I don't know if you can really call it meticulous. It's just so well placed, so properly formed. It's quite nice. It's quite nice to listen to him speak. Hopefully, I've tried to get him on a podcast, on one of my podcasts, but a podcast episode. I mean, I only have one podcast, but a podcast episode with him. But he is very privacy focused. I think he's okay with me uploading this vlog. Yeah, I'll have to clear it with him first. Anyways, so, oh my, 18 minutes, man. Right, so speaking, there was another thing that he's really good at. I think maybe I mention it later. Wow. No, this is an old vlog. This is such an old vlog. Instead, I want to think on more practical, so this is what I wrote. Instead, I want to think on more practical ideas that I can apply in my life every day. How to improve, what I'm doing wrong, convo starters, what is my goal this week, today, tomorrow. And this has actually come back to me, where there's this idea, and I'll probably cover this in a future vlog, of thought focus, where one of my friend Rashid brought this up actually, where he was saying you have the option of, and he's very productivity focused, a big he's an entrepreneur actually. He has his own business with clients, not, well, okay. He says it's not that impressive to just have your business and clients. That's not impressive. But he actually has been working on this with his partner, and he has multiple clients, and he really pursues this. And he thinks about this all day. It's really what's driving him. And it's also inspiring watching a man be so driven in something. And but also realizing he's human in certain aspects. So, well, in all aspects, where he'll say, "Oh yeah, I watched YouTube, or sometimes I get addicted to YouTube, so I have to do this to stop it." It's reassuring as well, where it's like, okay, yeah, somebody who's so driven, even, but they also struggle with the things that I struggle with too. But this is how he overcomes it, and this is and it's just nice having a peer like that. And I'd like to get closer to him as a friend. And I would say he's similar to Mahdi as well, where Mahdi, he's very driven when he wants to be, but he doesn't know what to be driven in. And we were talking, I think the last time we talked, he really wanted to start a business, or to just start making money, but he just didn't know how. And it was just, well, not that he didn't know how. It was that he didn't know what idea to put forth. I mean, he had so many different ideas, but it was like, what should I focus on? What do I need to focus on? I don't know. And they actually met too, so that was nice. Right, so what I was saying, Rashid was mentioning thought focus. So let's say you have 10,000 ideas in a given day. You could have 10,000 ideas pop into your head about 1,000 different things. Or you could have 10,000 ideas pop into your head about 3 different things, 3 different topics. And if you had, do you know how much progress you'd make with those 3 things? If you could just focus on those 3 things, you'd propel yourself so much higher through all of those 3 things. Sure, you wouldn't get 10,000 branched out things, but these 10,000 or these 1,000 branched out ideas, they're not fully formed, and you barely make any progress in any of them. Meanwhile, if you focus on 3, you make a ton of progress in all 3. In all 3. So I've been thinking about that. And then I thought, and naturally what you think is, well, what do you think about then? What are you supposed to think about? And that's the issue that I ran into. What should I think about? What interests me? What am I driving towards? And the biggest the thing that immediately popped into my head was music. But how do you think about music when you're on the go? Like, oh, I could incorporate this sound into here, but I'm not listening to anything. So it's like, how can I be creative about something that I haven't really, that I need to see, that I need to work on to actually create in order to be creative. But I thought about it more, and actually you can still be creative. You can think like, wait, what if I actually did this? What if I did this rhythm instead? What if I did this style where I don't know, EQ the low end out completely from, I don't know, my bass. Like the bass is supposed to have only low end, but what if I EQ the low end and completely distort the highs or so? Just to like mess around and think what would that sound like. Oh, and I also liked in this song that I heard earlier today where the artist did this, and I like these vocals, things like that. You could there's quite a bit to think about. No matter what, you can still think about it. So that's kind of the conclusion that's part of the conclusion that I came to. The realization, that's one of the realizations that I came to. But then I thought about it even more, and I realized thought focus isn't necessarily the answer. It makes sense for Rashid, since he's running a business and he needs to think about these 3 things that his life mainly goes on about. revolves around. But for me, I want to learn everything. I want to be involved in everything. I want to be I want to be a well-rounded person. And focusing on three things just doesn't make sense. And I want to be creative in my music making. I want to pull from so many different sources. So why would wouldn't it make more sense if I were to just scatter my thoughts? Wouldn't that actually be to my benefit, where I would be even more creative because I'm thinking about so many different things? So that's what I argue. I argue there is no, it doesn't necessarily mean thought focus could be beneficial for certain people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for everyone. "26 minutes. How to improve what I'm doing wrong. Okay, I already said that. Advice. What would you recommend to your friend? If you asked him, what would he say?" So I think I said this on a more general note. If you're looking for advice, so kind of unrelated to what I was talking about in this note, advice, what would you recommend to your friend? If you asked him, what would he say? So if you're ever stumped on something, and another good heuristic is to make a decision and then see how you feel about that decision. So this is especially useful for quick decisions that you have to make. Like, should I buy this piece of gum? Should I play poker tonight? Or anything, really. But something that you have to quickly decide. You choose one. You don't flip a coin. Well, you could flip a coin, but no matter what, you basically convince yourself that you're going to do one thing, and then you see how you feel about that. And if you decide, actually, I really don't want to do this, then you can back out and just do the other thing and see how you feel about that. Oh, I guess I'm fine with this. Maybe I'll see if I like it. So what I'm saying with the coin flip is you say you are going to do it no matter what. And then you kind of chicken out if it's really just not what you want to do. But convince yourself that you're actually going to do it. Easier said than done. So now, okay, advice. Kind of branching off of that is WWJD. What would Jesus do? The perfect human being. What would he do? And whether you believe he's real or not, this is still a constructive exercise to think about, to use constructive advice. Consider the perfect human being to have ever existed. So perfect that he's basically not even human. But he is human. He is human. But human and God. So perfect. What would Jesus do? And you can kind of visualize the way Jesus acted back then, and how he would say, just based off of all the stories that you hear about him. I mean, reading the Bible, you see what he's like. You see his mannerisms. You see his attitude towards things. You see he gets mad. You see he gets upset. He's sad sometimes. But that is human. and those aren't bad things. Those aren't evil things. Those aren't sins. But you can see how he acted. What would he do if would he approach this girl that's sitting that's working out, I don't know, at the front? I don't know. Would he approach this girl at the gym? No, probably not. Would he? And you can, like, it's not even in terms of whether this is good or not, it's so in terms of approaching for that specific example, it's more of like the man, the most masculine man, the most perfect man, the man that every girl needs, every human needs. What would he do? He would go up to someone else and ask for their permission to do something. He would go and ask to work in with them. He would go and fit himself into what they're doing. No. And I mean, I'm literally looking at the Sigma wolf that I have as one of my posters, but that's what it is. Just carving your own path, just being the perfect man, being Jesus, being the driven man. And you don't always have to be that driven man, but it's really important to have that characteristic. And I try to emulate that as much as possible. And on the other side too, it's advice. It's just sound advice no matter what. I mean, if I'm thinking that something could be wrong, where it's like, oh, should I invite this girl to my house? Would Jesus do this? Should I invite her into my room? Would Jesus do this? So it really makes a lot of things clear. Now, a bit of 32 minutes, man. Oh, I hate this so much. Damn it. And I didn't even talk about Mahdi that much. Oh. Man, he's such a cool guy. I feel like I didn't talk about him enough. I'll have to make another vlog with just outlining all the characteristics about Mahdi. He's a really cool guy. And I don't know what, if I should, like, what's okay to talk about too, because he is very privacy focused and I don't want to infringe on that. So I'll have to talk about him. I mean, talk to him to see what what info I can drop. Anyways, I guess I'll quickly mention the extra notes that I have. I love my life, and it's because of people I meet. Yeah. So, Mahdi, like just consider this. You finished your tutorial, and then you're going down the elevator, and there happens to be someone in the elevator, and then you just talk with them, and then you end up talking for a while and developing a friendship, like just from that one interaction. And I think the reason why it worked out so well is because he agreed to continue walking with me. So we finished the tutorial and we were headed back home, or I was headed back home, and I assumed he was too. And so I started walking to the bus, and I said, oh, I'm gonna head over to the bus now. I have to take the 10. He's like, oh, I take the 10 as well. So let's just take the 10 together. And so we ended up talking for like more than 15 minutes. Like, yeah, we'll say 20 minutes. Probably even more, because the bus ride itself was like 10 minutes or more. So 20 minutes of talking. And if he had said, let's say we got off of the elevator and he said, oh, actually I have to study in the library. See you later. That's it. That would have been the difference between having, but the thing is, I don't think that's Mahdi's personality in the first place. I don't think he would have done that. He would have either continued talking with me, to continue talking with me, or he would have decided, yeah, I actually don't really care to continue this conversation, and left. It wouldn't have been, he wouldn't have left it to chance, is what I'll say, is kind of what I mean. Whether we were to become friends. So, yeah, we ended up talking, but other people, I mean, I'm like that too, where like if I still I can't really get a good read of you within 5 minutes. Like 10 minutes, oh okay, a bit easier, but 20 minutes is now, oh okay. Now I'm more convinced of who you are. So and it does take effort to do that with every person you meet, with every person you approach. I don't take that. I don't take that approach. I just try to get out as much volume and see who I stick with within the first 5 minutes, which might not be a great idea, but I don't have another system. So we stick with that. We roll with that for now. And that's kind of with dating too. Anyways, I'm starting to ramble on way too much. 36 minutes. I love my life, and it's because of the people I meet. I'm playing chess against my prof. Oh, this is why I love life. I'm playing chess against my prof. I have a date. Wait, who did I have a date with? Who did... I think I remember who I had a date with. Yeah, I think I remember the date, the girl that I have a date. I think a girl is interested in me. She was not. I'm pretty sure she was not. If it's the one that I'm thinking of. Yeah, she was not. I'm talking with another girl. She was also not interested. Wait, who was I talking with? Oh, this is so long ago that it's hard to remember which girls. I'm interested in a gym girl. Which girl was that? Because I think I asked out all the gym girls that I was interested in. Not all, but all the girls that I was realistically interested in. That would have realistically been a viable partner. I'm meeting new friends. I'm hanging out with my friends, watching Invincible. Life is good. You know what I mean? I feel the worst when I'm vegetating and getting nothing done. And one last thing. A request for connection needs to be allowed, not forced. What I mean by that is both people need to agree to have a connection, to speak, to have a conversation. It can't just be, I want to have a conversation, so we're going to have a conversation. And I've had that quite a few. And I've realized, actually, no, both people need to want the conversation. And sometimes people are just not as open as you. And you have to accept that. Tough. But you have to realize not everyone's like that. Not everyone's built different like me. Not everyone's built like me. Not everyone's as cool as me. Man, and it's kind of unfortunate. I'm just thinking, like, it makes me think, last thought, before I reach 40 minutes, there was, I might just say, no, I'll just say it. Okay. So there was another girl that I met on the bus, and, or no, we actually met. I saw her in the gym, and then talked with her more on the bus. And I didn't really realize how weird I came off. How weird I came off. I don't know how else to put it, but like, I didn't know this girl at all. And then a few minutes later, or not even a few minutes, like literally a few seconds later, I'm sitting right beside her on the bus, like seat right next to her. Like, even guys would be weirded out. And I tried it the next day with a guy, and the guy was like, "Oh, I'm done." And then he didn't look at me. He just like, oh, because he was playing Clash Royale. And then I said, "Hey, do you mind if I watch you play?" It was like, "Oh, I'm done." And then he just didn't want to talk, man. People are just like that, and it's so lame. But she was so reciprocative, and I think we could be such great. Okay, to be honest, I did ask her out, but even without that in mind, even acknowledging that, hey, like, yeah, she doesn't want me she doesn't see me romantically, at least not yet. Not yet. But I can change now. I can change. No, just having a friend that, like, someone that is that open, that is like, hey, yeah, literally sit beside me and we'll have a conversation 30 seconds into meeting you. Like, I know absolutely nothing about you, but I'm willing to have a conversation with a complete stranger, a full-on conversation with a complete stranger. It was just so refreshing. And I haven't met anyone like that since. And I haven't met anyone like that maybe ever. Very few people are like that. So, and I did want to work out with her at one point. I mean, I did want to work out with her before, but I didn't get the chance to. Our schedules do not align, but I have such a strong feeling. I don't think we would make a good match, and part of that could be coping, but I honestly believe that because it's just the slight hint of personality of what I see, what she's like. Okay. Well, okay, what I mean is, from the brief conversation that I had with her, she swears. And normally you'd say, okay, well, so what? But as a Catholic, I'm looking for someone who's ideally Catholic, who's not so culture focused, and who is, I don't know how else to say it, just honestly, I was gonna say, who's, I really don't think I can say it though. Like, more reserved. I don't think that outlines what I'm thinking. I really can't say it. No, it's too rude to say. So, I shouldn't have even said that. Okay. But I think I could get along really well with this girl, just platonically. So hopefully at some point, I'll be able to talk with this person, because I feel like this could be a really interesting friendship. And I'm excited for it. But that's a bit in the future, because I gotta focus on exams. And I haven't even really been thinking about that too much. That just kind of popped into my head when I read that last part. So it's possible that I may never even text this girl again. We will see. We will see. Signing off, though. Good night or good morning.